Hi dear students, welcome back to computer science class. In our previous session, we have learned data definition language and data manipulation language DDL and DML in detail, and we have seen data definition language commands like card, create, alter and drop, and DML commands like update, insert, delete and select, UIDs, right? And we have seen the working, how these commands work on at the time of operating on tables, right? So today we have another very important topic. As I've told you, we are heading to data manipulation or implementation of SQL, and this is very important topic. Of course, when you look at MySQL, actually we are using MySQL, relational database management system, MySQL, and we use the language SQL for the implementation. And knowing the advantages of MySQL makes your programming easy. Okay, yes, of course it's a theory part, and in our coming classes we'll try to implement. We'll go for implementation of SQL and data manipulation. So today we have MySQL and advantages of MySQL. As we have already explained, or as we have already discussed MySQL. You know what actually MySQL is? MySQL is it is an open source, freely available relational database management system. It is an open source, freely available relational database management system, and it's used for creating, retrieving, managing, and of course performing other kinds of manipulation on the database, right? Yes. So it has a features for creating, storing, maintaining and accessing data, and it can store several database or several tables and can store thousands of records in it, right? Yes. Then it's freely available, as I've told you. It's available in www.mysql.org. You can go and download it. Okay, free. Yeah. Then it's developed by a student-based MySQL lab, MySQL app. Okay. Then it's fully secured, reliable and fast. Of course, MySQL is fully secured, reliable and fast relational database management system. Now we are going to look at the advantages of MySQL. Okay, and as we know, MySQL is one of the most commonly used, most widely accepted relational database management system, and we use the language SQL, structured query language, as a language in MySQL, right, to manipulate data in MySQL. Yeah. So let's look at the advantages of MySQL. Here we have 10 specific points. Okay, we can look at each one by one. Yeah. The first one is reliability and performance. MySQL offers high reliability and high performance when we compare to other database management system. Okay, yes, it's reliable and high performance relational database management system. Yes. Second one is modifiable. How it becomes modifiable? Modifiable in the sense it is an open source software. We can go for modification, right? Open source means source code is available for the user for modification, right? We can view the source code, we can edit it, we can modify it, we can redistribute it to the society. Okay, but we must have an license agreement. We must follow the license agreement provided by the open source organization. Okay, anyway, it is modifiable. Being an open source, it is easily modifiable and recompile. We can recompile, we can recode it, right? We can add modifications and we can distribute it, right? That is what modifiable is. That's the second point. And the third point is it is multi-platform support. It has some support of multi-platform, meaning as we have seen a point, portability, right? Portability in the sense we can easily transfer SQL code from one place to another place, or MySQL itself, right? Okay, so it has multi-platform support. That is, it works on Unix, Linux, Mac OS, or Windows, everywhere. Okay, so it has multi-platform support, multi-operating system support, multiple operating system support. Yeah. Then the fourth one is powerful processing capabilities. We know it has both structural or definition wise as well as data wise processing capabilities. When we use DDL commands, it has a capacity to perform on the structure or definition of the database, right, or the table. But when we perform DML, data manipulation language commands, it performs on the data. So it's powerful, easy compatible and fast relational database management system. Okay, it has it is powerful, of course, and it is easy. Then it's compatible and fast relational database management system. Yes. Then the fifth one is integrity check. You know what integrity is? Integrity is used to ensure the accuracy and validity of data, right? And using commands we can restrict, or we can ensure the integrity of data, or the accuracy of data, or the validity of data, right? Yeah. So restrict user input and processing. We can restrict user input, user actions, user processing, or query processing with the help of integrity checks. Okay. Yes. Then next one is authorization. You know what actually authorization is? Authentication check. Okay, if you want to get into the database, or if you want to access some information, access some data, we have to follow through an authentication check. Okay, just at the time of signing in or getting into the software, we have to follow, we have to be what, we have to go through an authentication check. Okay, that's what authorization is. DML commands, DDL commands to check for user authentication, restrict access to relations and views. Okay. Of course, using DDL at the time of creating a table, we can apply constraints, right? Okay, just after applying constraints, we can have some sort of authentication, right? Yes, setting primary key, foreign key, all those kind of stuff, plus a check. Okay, we have some constraints which can be added along with DDL commands. Okay, so using those commands, we can check for user authentication, and we can restrict access to relations as well as views. You know what actually view is? View is, of course, a logical table. Okay, yes. Then powerful language. Of course, MySQL is somewhat a powerful relational database management system, and SQL is somewhat very powerful, right? Okay. Operations at prescribed and fixed level, meaning select can be used for selecting multiple rows, and modify, clause modify can be used for modifying multiple rows or multiple records, right? Meaning select, modify, and many other commands can be applied not to a single, we can apply it to a large, to a mass, okay, to a large, to multiple records or multiple rows, right? Okay, so that is what powerful language is. Then reliable, of course, we know MySQL is reliable, we get desirable results, so we can say it's efficient, right? Effective, yeah. So it offers desirable results without any ambiguity, without any confusion, right? MySQL offers high reliability, and of course without any ambiguity, without any confusion, right? Okay, yeah. Then freedom of data abstraction. You know what actually data abstraction is? Abstraction is nothing but minimalizing the data, right? Okay, the conceptual minimalization of data, we can say. Okay, minimalizing data means we don't specify everything. Okay, for example, it's an abstracted data type, it follows data abstraction in the sense, okay, we follow minimum things, okay, because most of the things are already defined, we just have to follow it, just like non-procedural. Data abstraction means we get the abstracted view, we specify only what, other than how is already defined, right? So it is a minimal view of something. Okay, minimal view of something is what abstraction is. So data abstraction means data will be minimal. Okay, the background details will not be displayed, or okay, yes. So that's what data abstraction. So MySQL offers freedom of data abstraction, greater degree of abstraction it offers. Okay, then complete language for database or database management system. As we know, it apart from query processing, it can perform create, insert, delete, and control access to database, right? Okay, so it's a complete language. It's a complete language for database management system, because other than query processing, other than performing select, insert, update, we can perform what structural wise operations as well, right? Okay, that's what it's. We can say what it's a complete language for database or database management system. Okay, so these are some of the advantages of MySQL. And let's have a quick revision. Okay, MySQL, it's an open source, freely available database management system, and it uses SQL, the language SQL, for processing data. Okay, then features for creating, storing, maintaining, and accessing data. Can store several tables and thousands of records. Yeah. Then available in mysql.org. It's a developed by Sweden-based MySQL app. Okay. Then fully secure, reliable, and fast. Yeah. Then advantages: reliable and reliability and performance, modifiable, open source. Okay. Multi-platform, multiple operating system, a powerful processing capabilities. Then integrity check, authorization, powerful language, reliable, freedom of data abstraction, and complete language for database. Okay, so just go through all these topics, because it's just an introduction to MySQL and why MySQL is that famous. Okay, we have gone through all this stuff. Yeah, so just go through this. Okay, yeah. So this is all for the time being. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time. Take care.